Bonsoir, mes camarades de jeu, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I play the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. Our campaign is Reign of Terror. It was developed by Mark Morrison and is available on the Chaosium website. Our maitre de jeu is Mick Swan, and this is episode 12. Our recap will be given by Fred Carter. So without any further delays, commence notre voyage dans les ténèbres. Fred?
Oh, our Savior Jesus Christ will not get us out of this one. That bullet did not even pierce his throat. I can't believe I or maybe even encouraged us to come down in here. Just to find this Rigo, I assumed it would be some sort of scheme on his part, not this kind of blasphemy. You know, we had just nailed down this moving corpse up there, literally nailed it down to the wood, and its soft flesh was ripping through the nails. But we got it still, and the militia had gotten there, and we finally could get down in here to try to figure out what Rigo is doing. And you know, of course, Dupois had to push ahead. He never wants me to take the lead and to shine and show my skills. But we get down here, and these skulls, they're all carved with this occult symbol and mandala in them, and it's like there's thousands of them. And I don't know what that whirlwind was that we passed. The purple glow that was just like dust just swirling up into the air. And sure enough, we find this bastard Rigo down here, and he's carving the mandala into the skull of our captain. And he's been dead only a few days. Why would he be doing this? I still don't know why Dupois did not pull the trigger and shoot him. We looked right into Rigo's eyes, and the eyes weren't there. It was like looking into the stars. And Dupois, why the hell would he race ahead and not shoot? Well, I shot, but I think we're all damned because it didn't do a thing.
Excellent. Well, I know what I'm about to do.
Well, I should say, if you recall, though, it did do something, shooting him.
Yes.
There was a skull that burst.
Yeah, a skull. One of the skulls popped.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how well the connection was made between character and event, so I didn't just assume that I would interpret that.
Okay, all right. I was just reminding you.
Okay.
Well, obviously, as with anyone who's just been shot, whether successfully or not, obviously one is taken aback, and Rigo is no exception to this. But unlike most men who've been shot, his reaction is atypical, to say the least. He just stands there for a moment, surveys the damage to his jacket, and kind of chuckles to himself for a moment.
Citizen Rigo, are you familiar with this Scottish game of golf? And I take my my gun by the barrel, and I start whacking the skulls left and right. Just because I don't give a shit what he does at this point.
Okay. You do that, and Rigo, still chuckling to himself, just gives a massive Gallic shrug.
I don't care either. I'm getting rid of your art project. I'm just smashing skulls. Remember, I'm a little bit nuts for the next 4 rounds.
Yeah. Where is everyone in relation to Rigo? Specifically, who is at the front?
I imagine right now, Ugel and I are flanking Pressy since he's just stepped up and took a shot.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of in the front, but
and I whispered, look at his chest. Those skulls in the rash.
He looks down at the ground for a moment, kind of, well, almost in thought, but also you get the sneaking suspicion that he might just be doing it purely for dramatic effect. And then he stands bolt upright and takes several paces towards Pressy and punches you squarely, well, attempts to punch you squarely on the nose.
Okay.
Give me 1 second.
Does my bayonet at all get in the way since the gun was kind of leveled right at him?
You can use it. You can use it as a parry.
Yes.
Your weapon skill for it.
Use the weapon skill as the parry?
Yeah, instead of dodging.
Okay. Well, he's going to go first. Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay, you sort of flinch as he comes towards you. There's something about his appearance you don't like. That you get quite a good look at the markings on his skin, and it's impossible to tell what it is. Is it a rash? Is it a brand? Maybe a tattoo, but in sort of reddish, pinkish brown ink. It's very odd looking. But you don't have that much time to pay attention to it because obviously he's swinging a punch at you, which whistles by in front of your nose, and you feel the air move, but it doesn't impact with you. At which point, he seems to sort of shake his head as though he's trying to figure out what he did wrong there.
Well, I'm going to drop the gun and pull my sword.
Okay.
Because I can't reload quick enough. And then I'll attack as soon as I can.
Okay, well, I'll let you attack next round in response to him. So the rest of you for this round, what is everyone else doing?
Anything of note on his table, like other than the skulls that he's been etching, or heads?
Well, there's a whole pile of skulls, and it looks like there might be actually more quite fresh heads, but you don't feel inclined to look.
If there's any kind of organization to the way he's stacking things up, I'm just going to start kicking them and knocking them all down.
Okay.
I'm not really in my mind right now.
Yeah, there are one or two sort of nicely piled pyramids of skulls.
I'll just kick them. Okay. Smash them against the wall if I can.
All right. Well, in that case, then we're gonna go straight into the next round of combat, I think, which is him once more lunging at Pressy.
Well, I was going to try and get him with my bayonet. I'm behind Pressy.
I believe your dex is the same as
60.
Oh, no, right. So yeah, so it'll be Rigo, Pressy, then you would be the order of combat.
I'm 50, so I'm probably last.
Yeah. Okay, so Rigo's going first. And he successfully throws a punch and connects with Pressy for fucking hell, 4 points of damage. And Pressy.
Can I attempt to dodge that? I'm sorry, I was muted. I didn't realize I was muted.
Well,
or does that basically consume my action for the round if I dodge?
Yeah, if you dodge, that will be your action for the round. Yes.
No.
Keep him tied up.
Yeah, I think I will at least want to try it. Yeah.
Okay, we'll give it a go. Yes, give it a go.
Yeah, I failed though. I rolled a 65.
Well, if you've got your sword, you can use your sword skill to parry. Remember, instead of dodging.
Oh, well, that would have parried with the rapier if I had a chance to have already drawn it since the last round.
Yes, but I think if you're dodging, then I'm going to assume that you're too busy dodging to parry.
Okay. Then I took the 4.
Okay. Yes, I'm afraid so. And when he connects with you, it's quite noteworthy that you it doesn't feel like you're being hit by someone who knows how to hit you. It's a strange feeling. It's as though he is just literally just swinging his fists at you as hard as he possibly can, rather than sort of actually sort of punching.
Doesn't punch like any man I know. Sure hurts like hell, though.
And you stagger back. As you stagger back, Rigo just stands there, static, like he's sort of waiting for the next person to attack him. Like a good NPC. So that would be then, next would be Ugel, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Since I was kind of behind Pressy, I was just going to try and stab around with the bayonet. Like go for his torso. Not Pressy's, obviously.
Okay. Then if you could give me a bayonet roll, please.
Nope. 87. Lucky I hold on to the rifle.
Okay, you lunge at him with your bayonet, and he deftly steps to the side.
All right.
Oh, while he's avoiding Ugel trying to stab at him, I'm going to come around the other side and try to hook my axe kind of over his head and around his neck to kind of like yank him back and grapple him.
Okay.
And that is a 96 on my brawl, so that's a fail.
Okay, yes. Well, he's just stepped out of the way of Ugel's attack, and so we'll say that as you lunge towards him, he's simply just not where you expected him to be. He's already dodged the other attack, and in doing so, you now found yourself disoriented for a moment.
Can I do something?
You may indeed.
All right. Since I've just been smashing skulls and kicking skulls, and I've sort of worked my way out, he probably thinks I'm out of my mind, and I am. But I figure a skull's a skull. So I'm just going to take my gun still by the barrel and swing it around and see if I can clock him in the head, in the back of the head.
I'm
using all my strength.
Yeah, make a brawl roll, but I'm going to have to give you a penalty dice for this because you are in a frantic and bewildered state.
37, 27.
Oh.
And my brawl is 85. So
that's quite high, isn't it? Your brawl?
Yeah, actually, even the high one is better than half for me.
Okay. I am going to let you roll for damage then.
clubs. I mean,
because he's been leaping out of the way. I think it would be very unrealistic to say that he could leap out of the way of one person's attack, thus disorientating a second person and still manage to dodge a third person would be pushing it a bit. So I'm going to say that you definitely do hit him.
so okay. It's an 8 side. A club is an 8 dice plus my damage bonus, which is 1d4.
Go for it.
So 4.
Pop.
Another skull explodes.
All right. How about my gun? Does my gun
That does not explode.
back of his head?
It's a robust, a simple yet robust firearm.
I am just
Made
continuing
for clouting people.
to shout expletives, but I probably turn around and start kicking skulls again
Okay.
for 2 more rounds.
Presley sort of dusts himself down, and all right. All of a sudden, quite a lot happens. Quite a lot happens. First of all, Ugel and Pressy, you just find yourself flat on your backs. Like you've just been knocked down. But you swear that nothing actually touched you. Baban, you just see Rigo make some sort of strange gesture. And then Ugel and Pressy just sort of get thrown back almost. Well, from your perspective, it's almost as though they've got cables tied around their waists and they've been suddenly yanked back just 3 or 4 feet, but they've gone flat on their backs. Dupois.
Mm-hmm.
While this is going on, you can hear this happening behind you, but you're too busy with your smashing of skulls. You're smashing the skulls, and you suddenly stop midway through bringing your gun down on something. There, amidst the skulls, is something that's very much not a skull. At first, you take it to be some sort of really quite well rendered sculpture, like possibly a gargoyle or a dog or something. And then, but the texture of it doesn't look like stone. It looks kind of spongy and rubbery, and you sort of tilt your head to get a better look, and as you're looking at this thing, it blinks and looks back at you.
I'm going to yell out, "Homunculus!" and flip my bayonet around and just jam down at it.
Okay. In that case,
this man is a witch.
I wish you had not done that, because now it means I have to go to a different page. Bastard. Why don't I just...
Yeah, it sticks in midair like this.
Entry level advice for people GMing. Why just print it out? Just print it
Yeah,
out.
make a cheat sheet. That's what I do. I do a cheat sheet.
Yeah, just print it out. Print out this bit of the bag.
I like printing all my stuff I need for.
Logic said to me the other day, it said, print it out. Mate.
I've got stacks of these on my desk so that I can mark things.
Oh, is he gone? I do apologise. It's actually it's in the notes for the other game.
Okay.
Right. Yes. Okay. So you are going to run this creature through with your.
I'm gonna try to.
Okay.
It's an abomination. Witches things. It's an
okay.
hell.
Okay. Give it a go then.
I got a 61. What am I rolling for? Bayonet?
Bayonet, yes.
I missed. I stuck it in the ground.
Okay, well the creature sort of jumps back a little, and you notice that as you've lunged towards it,
Mm-hmm.
you know it's really very odd that it's actually sitting in the mouth of a little tunnel. But rather strangely, the way that the tunnel breaks in front of it is sort of uneven. So there's a little bit of the front wall is in front of the back wall.
Okay.
So when you're looking at it straight on, you can't see that there's anything there. You can see skulls.
Okay.
But it's quite a strange effect as you move around this corner and see this thing sort of revealing itself.
Well,
now,
I'm going to scream homunculus at it again.
I want you to make a sanity roll for me.
All right. 10.
Okay, that's a pass, so that's fine.
Nothing or.
No, there's no sanity loss, but I'd like you also to make an intelligence roll as well.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that I don't pass. 85.
Okay. The thing just sort of cowers there for this turn. Meanwhile, with the rest of you, sorry. I've lost track of what the others were doing. Pressy and Ugel had been knocked down.
And I'm just staring slack-jawed at this. But my plan is to take down Rigo as well.
Okay,
I thought Dubois just smashed his head.
Well,
It didn't have any effect. A skull exploded.
Oh,
that's
okay.
right. Yes, yeah.
Okay.
That's right. Okay. Right, I'm back on track now. Okay, okay, as a result, we will move on to the next turn, and I'm trying desperately to read this thing that's on the screen, and I've got it on too small a thing. Right. Okay, so what's going to happen this turn is that Rigo swings a punch at Baban, which is a 3. That's going to connect. Baban, I'll give you an opportunity to dodge.
Yeah, sure enough. Well, instead of dodging, can I just eat that punch and just like latch onto his arm and drag him to the ground with me?
Grapple?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll let you do that. Yes, you'll have to take the damage, but
Maneuver? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be my plan.
1d3 plus 1d6. Plus 2 is, oh no, plus 1. So it's 3 damage you've taken.
Okay. Got it. And so from there, 1, 2, 3. Okay. And then I reply by grabbing onto him with a 7 out of 60. So I crit him with a brawl to drag him to the ground and pin him.
Okay, I will let you do that. Unexpectedly, you sort of ride the force of his punch and pull him down to the ground with you.
And I'm going to begin shouting, Pressy, you shall help me.
Dupois.
Yes.
You're poised there with your rifle,
Mm-hmm.
just about to make your next move. And this horrible thing looks up at you with an almost pitiful look in its eyes, and it just says, No, monsieur, no. Friend, help, hurry.
It is the devil.
And it suddenly just darts off down the hole.
I was going to try to grab it.
Too late, it's gone.
All right. Shit. I mean, well, to put on the map.
Now you've got to chase him and convince him that the devil doesn't actually exist.
I'm going to chase him. I'm going to run in the direction that it ran.
Mick, do I go next? I think I was supposed to fit in there right after we go.
Okay.
Can I get
I'm very
to him?
close to sneezing, so if I suddenly go mute for a moment, that's why I've gone mute.
Sure. Can I get to him, or is he too entangled with Baban at the moment?
Well, I think for this turn, both you and Ugel are going to be preoccupied with standing up primarily, and then potentially moving towards Rigo. So say that if you want to attack him, you'll be on him next turn.
Okay, that's the intent.
All right.
So Baban is in a clinch with him. Dupois, you said you were gonna try and see where this thing's gone.
I'm just immediately running after it rather blindly. I wonder if I can catch it.
Okay, well, I mean, you have to. The little tunnel it's gone through is about 4 feet tall.
Oh, okay. I thought it ran down the regular tunnel.
No.
I'll get down on my hands and knees and look in there. So if it's out of my way, then I can't go after it.
Or you just see darkness.
Ah, shit. So I'm sort of coming out of it. I'm not sure that what I saw was real anyway. I turn around and I look and I see what's going on. Rigo and Babon are on the floor.
You see, Babon has fallen back on the floor. Rigo has been dragged on top of him, and Baban seems to be sort of trying to use his arms to hold one of Rigo's arms, and he's.
Can I rather matter-of-factly take a couple of steps forward with my gun and just lower the bayonet right down onto Rigo's skull and then lean on it?
Okay. Well, that would be point blank. So,
yeah, much. Hopefully right on one of his eye sockets.
Okay. You push the bayonet into the nearest available bit of his head, which actually is sort of somewhere around the back of the neck.
Okay.
And it just slides straight in. Roll for damage.
Okay. Nine.
One of the skulls explodes, quite a way off down the hall, actually. And you slide the bayonet out. And for a moment, there in the skin, you can see the shape of the bayonet, and you can see the sticky, bright red of the blood and the muscle inside. And you stand and watch in disbelief as the hole just kind of closes up.
He is a witch, I scream.
And almost at the same instant as you pull the bayonet out, literally over your shoulder, you hear that same voice again saying, Come now, run!
Do you hear that? I say to everybody.
Do we hear anything?
Yeah, you all heard it.
Where is that coming from?
And I point over to the tunnel. I say, there's a tunnel here, look. And I run towards the tunnel and I duck down and scooch into it.
It's empty.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go down a way. How far does it go? Does it just keep going?
Yeah, it does.
I'll try grabbing. Well, I have to go back for a second, grab a torch, and try to scoot down into it. You said it's about 4 feet high, so I've got to hunker down.
Yeah, I should point out that tunnel, that's not where the voice came from the second time.
Okay.
It came from literally right behind you.
Okay, so I turn back around. Yeah. Do I see anything?
It's squatting there quite openly, just squatting there at the mouth of another one of these tunnels.
What are you?
I don't know.
Did the other people see this?
Yeah.
I look back at them.
What do we do, Babon?
And I go like this to the creature. I do this, Mick. Yeah, look, I go like this. Like, go on. And I'm going to follow it wherever it wants me to go.
Well, for now, I'm wrestling a madman, so...
Right. What will it show me?
You must go. You cannot kill him. You cannot kill him. But I know how.
Tell me.
No.
All right, I'm going to follow him wherever he goes.
Okay, well, he sort of scuttles off.
So you guys all see me disappear down a little tunnel.
He scuttles off a few feet down the tunnel, and you follow after him. And he sees you sort of trying to squeeze down the tunnel after him. Looks behind you, and says,
No, all.
The little man says that you cannot kill him. We must all come with him.
Presty, what madness is Dupois speaking?
I don't know, Babon. I will run him through with a sword. Rigo, that is.
They're going to stay and try to kill Rigo.
I'm standing there looking at...
That's what Babon wants me to do.
Right.
Okay, well, if you're going to run him through with his sword, just make a roll to hit. I'll give you a bonus dice because he's being immobilized by Pressy by Baban trying to hold him down.
All right. My best was an 5, and I needed a 70, so that's within what, extreme range?
Yeah, I'll give you that as an impale.
Okay.
What is that, max plus the dice?
Is it max? Oh, okay.
Yes, it's maximum possible damage plus the plus your roll.
Plus the roll.
Yes.
19.
19. Pop, pop, pop. 3 of the skulls explode, and you draw your bloodless sword back out from his body. And you also watch in horror as you see this wound just close up.
Babon, we cannot hurt him.
Babon, get off him.
You shall get ready with it with the lantern. Throw it on him when I toss him aside.
You read my mind. Literally just read my mind. Okay. I have the oil lantern there, and I'm just going to bring it down on him. Even if it don't hit him, it'll put oil all over the area he's in. I'm just waiting for Babon to get out of the way.
Okay.
And when it comes to me, 40 out of 60 on Brawl to kind of toss him off of me into the corner of the room. And stumble up to my feet.
Right, he's going to get a dodge roll as you try and throw him off into a particular area, I think.
Quickly, follow me.
Be right there.
And he has failed his dodge roll. So, okay, so you've successfully thrown him into the corner. The strange rubbery thing in the shadows is getting increasingly more agitated and.
See, yeah. I'm not even trying to hit him.
Wildly.
I'm just trying to hit right at his feet, so it just puts the oil into the area where he's standing at, and hopefully splashes up on him. So, 51. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm going to take anything that wasn't a critical failure for that. Okay. Well, I'm assuming you're doing that, and then you're all bolting down the thing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, as you were the one who threw the lantern at him, Michelle, I'm going to assume that you're going to be the last one down the tunnel. What you see is spectacularly odd, but certainly in keeping with everything else that's happened down here. You throw the lantern, and Rigo is very clearly on fire. But he just starts walking very calmly towards a bucket. And as he's walking, you can hear skulls popping up and down the hall. Every couple of seconds or so, a skull pops. And the last thing that you see as you crouch your head into the tunnel is Rigo pouring a large pail of water over his head.
Wow.
And the sound of hissing and crackling, which you think might possibly be his skin.
I'm just kind of recanting this out loud to everyone and in disbelief, kind of rambling. He put himself out. He walked over calmly, like nothing was wrong, and it's just babbling as I go into the tunnel.
Quickly, the little man, he is agitated.
Right, once you're into the tunnel, there's no time for chit chat or anything. You just get dragged by this thing through this maze of small tunnels, and these places are disgusting. They stink. They're fetid. They're warm. They're damp. There are tree roots poking through. There's a horrible, horrible smell of graveyard earth everywhere you go, and it's up your nose. It's down your throat. It's all you can smell. Every now and then, the tunnel plunges down, shoots up, jinks to the side, and I'm gonna get you to make a dex roll just generally for your footing while you're running through this cave system, hobbling through this cave system.
Yeah.
Nope. 75. Fail.
I got a critical positive. Suddenly, all my words have gone out my head.
That's all right. I'm the same. It's at this time of the morning. My brain doesn't work, which is why I keep pausing all the time.
It's only 6:50 in the evening for me.
Morning. Yeah. I've already been to bed. I haven't probably woken up either.
That is standard success.
For those of you who failed, I'm afraid you're looking at a cumulative 1d6 of damage for your flight through the tunnel system.
Did anybody fail?
Yeah, me.
Remember to duck. Watch out for that rock. There's a place you must duck.
Yeah, I've got size 75, so I imagine it's just run. Whack. Oh, man. Oh.
And I say that like 2 seconds after you've hit.
Well, at least one more skull has popped this evening. Ouch.
It might be disgusting, and it might smell of graveyard earth. But as you follow this strange creature around these tunnels, every now and then they open into other larger areas. Some of them are just caverns and caves. One of them looks suspiciously like it might be where these things shit. But some of the other things you see,
you have it.
There's what looks like a medieval basement full of old wine casks, which doesn't appear to have any stairs leading up. It seems to have been bricked up. You push on, not really understanding where the caves have been made and where they're just natural caverns, and then suddenly you find yourself in a corridor, and the corridor leads to what looks like the very well preserved remains of an old Roman villa. I mean, as fetid and as filthy and decayed as everything else down here, but perhaps this is some sort of leftover remnant of the city of Lutetia, the city that was here before Paris. This is getting ever stranger, and you get the feeling that you're getting quite deep beneath the earth now.
We are now in the lands of the dead, I say ominously.
But there's this creature in the half light of your lanterns. This creature pauses, and it points to the villa and ushers you in. I don't know how I can describe this place. The room in which you're standing, it would have been the triclinium, the dining room. There are lots of other creatures like this creature. Possibly up to a dozen of them. Lounging around at various places on the mosaic floor. One on what looks like a stone chaiselongue, and they're well fed. They're well fed creatures, and it's not easy to see why they're well fed creatures, because there are the complete and partially eaten carcasses of headless human corpses all over the place.
What are you?
I mean, this is a charnel house.
Do these look like any other sort of animal we've ever seen?
No, they don't. I mean, these things growl at you as you get too if you get too close to them. They don't look very friendly, but they're not actively attacking you or anything.
You said they're small?
They're about the size of human beings.
Oh, okay.
Do they have arms and legs?
Hunched over. They have arms and legs.
Oh.
They are bipedal.
Naked or hairy?
It's very difficult to tell in this light. You can't tell whether it's they either seem to have a pelt that's so matted and filthy that it started looking like a sort of rubber.
Yeah. Oh.
Or it might just be a weird rubbery skin. You can't really tell. I mean, they're quite filthy things, and you don't want to get too close to them. The one thing that you really do notice is that really they look more dog than man.
Okay.
They have sort of quite heavy muzzles, and they seem, I mean, they seem to be communicating with each other, but it's no language you've ever heard. It's like a kind of, like a horrible whimpering and meeping and squeaking.
I have seen this before. Do you remember?
Dupois, where have you led us?
I have led us where this creature wants us to be. Are these werewolves? They have led us here. Remember, we saw them. We saw one of them years ago, before all this nightmare started.
When we first got detailed to the catacombs.
These are poor mutant people who have been lost down here. What are you? Why have you led us away from that madman?
I do not know what I am.
He holds up an arm, and with a genuine sense of hospitality, he says,
You want some?
No.
When he says he doesn't know what he is, can I tell if there is a sense, using maybe psychology, if there's a sense of he just truly doesn't understand what he is, or if it's more of like a sense of disgust and I don't know what I've become kind of thing?
you get the feeling that he just genuinely doesn't know what sort of thing he is. And
okay.
Can we roll Cthulhu Mythos to see if we can, something we were told as children, or
if you have Cthulhu Mythos.
Yeah, we all picked up a little.
Yeah. Okay.
Who knows? Maybe somebody gets lucky. Nope.
Not me.
47.
No.
all right, so we don't know what they are.
You don't know what they are, but you're pretty certain that this is exactly the same kind of thing that you saw when you were in the catacombs before.
Oui, Dupois, I remember now. We saw it just out of range of our lanterns.
I apologize for doubting you all those years ago. I didn't see it myself. I thought you were jumping at shadows, but obviously
Never mind any of that. Creatures, we don't know what to call you, but you said you could help us to stop this monster. How? How do we stop this thing? And how can we repay you then?
He starts gnawing on a bone for a moment, and then he rudely pauses the game to blow his nose.
What is this strange custom of blowing one's nose? Why have I become German? I am crazy. At this
perhaps
point,
you
my
spent
sanity,
much time
I'm
On
probably
the
already
opposite-
locked up.
Oh, that really
This whole
hurt my
scenario
tongue.
is going to end with them coming in to give me my medication.
The creature settles itself down with its bone, and then in between its gnawing, it starts to speak to you. And it says,
We are living in the asylum. These are the end times. It is hard to find the words after all this time. The man who you call
Rigo.
Rigo, he will he seeks to give your catacombs above city. He will give the city. He will give you everything.
Everything.
He gives to the outside, the outer ones.
To another country?
No. He puts many men chopped.
Yes.
And man will go. He puts picture sigil
Yes.
on blade on all of the blades.
He's putting that symbol on the guillotine.
Oui. The symbol, the sigil, when the soul dies under the blades, it is sent to the center.
Heaven? Hell?
No,
he sort of looks around him for a moment, and
The center of the city?
Paris.
he gestures with his bone and draws you closer, and he says,
Azathoth. No, Azathoth.
Is that in Germany?
No, it is outside.
Outside of the country?
When
Hungary, perhaps.
when a blade kills with this symbol, their voices, they join the great chorus.
Purgatory.
And this is if you see eyes, the eyes, you see them. You see like
The eye of God and singing. He's talking about a church.
But no, he said.
No. After they are killed, you see their eyes. You see the horror in their eyes. They know what has happened to them. They are not just dead. They have gone outside. They have been sent to him.
They're not allowed to heaven?
So they're.
He is using the soul. The word soul. I cannot recall. It's been so long. I don't know how to tell you.
So this is some kind of dark bargain.
When he has 10,000, he has 10,000 souls have been sent to the throne the choir of skulls will sing. The eye of Azathoth will open. Paris will be engulfed. He will give it to outside.
10,000 dead. That is the price. Okay.
Are there not 10,000 dead already?
I don't expect you to believe this. I can scarcely believe it.
How do we
Yourself.
stop him?
And more importantly, Demon, why are you telling us this? Why pull us away from him? Why help us?
Well, this is just part of my story.
They live here too.
It is what I must do. I don't expect you to believe me, but I have seen the proof. I have visited the dream city of Ignarok, and there is a blind onyx carver, and each day he rises and chisels names in a language he does not speak.
Well, he is as mad as you.
The language is French. The names are our daily toll. Each night he dreams of us, and each day he continues his list. In scant moments of rest, he listens for the sound of the ending so that he can lay down his tools and die. And it was there that I saw this.
So what you are saying basically,
Now I have become.
I turn away and I look at the others. I'm like, what he is saying is that our dark wizard friend back there is doing some sort of magic that will destroy the entire city as a sacrifice to his whatever, his demon, his...
The Hungarian city of Azathoth, yes. What, for some reason, 10,000 dead Parisians is the cost of whatever his plan is.
He is sacrificing them to the devil or whatever, but we must stop him. How do we stop him?
I don't know.
You said you could tell us how to stop him.
Well, this is what happens when you take prophecies from uneducated onyx carvers in dreams. I'm sorry. Look, I have seen that he has a book. It is a black book with
Probably one of Fenelek's books.
It has obviously brass bindings. This is very important to him.
We must.
The book has the ritual, and tells you how to make the ritual and how to unpick the ritual. And if you unpick the magic, if it is broken, then Rigo can be killed.
Well, then we must find this book.
I've looked for the book, but I think that Rigo has taken it with him outside of the catacombs, and we do not like to leave the catacombs.
How do we get out without going back to Rigo?
Oh, this is easy. I can easily. There are many ways out of the catacombs. It is not a problem to sneak you out of the catacombs is the merest trifle.
What do I call you? What is your name?
And he seems to just sort of drift away in thought for a moment.
We will call him Louis.
As though he's making a real effort of will. And after a fair while, he says,
Guillaume.
Guillaume.
My name was Guillaume.
All right, Guillaume. You have done us a service. Show us the way out. We will do what we can. The first thing we should do is find all the guillotines and see if we can destroy whatever mark is upon them.
We would be next on those guillotines if we were caught doing anything like that. They would assume that we're the there to dismantle or stop their progress.
Well, we won't. We'd simply say them they need to be replaced because they are not sharp any longer. I don't know. I don't care if they keep cutting everybody's head off as long as it's not dedicated in magic to this evil wizard. Why is Rigo doing this? Is he insane? He must be insane. Please show us the way out, unless you guys want to ask any more questions of Guillaume.
Yes, does anyone have any more questions before you leave?
Does this Rigo stay down here a lot? Is he here regularly? Do you know if he has anything else important there?
He comes here from time to time, but I think he must. I think he has another place where he stays because this place he does not rest here. He comes here and he carves his symbols, and he comes here with his things, his rotten, inedible things.
But he does not bring this black book with him. This book that supposedly can undo.
I have seen him with it, but not all the time. And I have searched the catacombs for it.
Maybe it is in his house.
Perhaps. Guillaume, another question, I suppose, with this. What was I going to ask? Shit. Merde. Cannot remember.
This would be a perfect time, Lug, for you to start gnawing your bone and providing sound effects. He continues gnawing at his bone.
I don't suppose we have. Christophe, have you ever heard of anything called Azathoth?
We'll make a
Sounds Greek.
You'll make a Cthulhu mythos roll.
No.
Would a cult gleam anything? No.
No. I could allow you all to make an intelligence roll.
Okay.
How did I pass that?
Yep.
I did make that.
Yep.
I passed my intelligence roll.
A 9 out of 60.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay, did you all pass that?
Yes.
Oh, well, in that case, then yes, you're all. You all remember that when you were in the ballroom at Fenrilic's, the Chateau Fenric, you heard that name mentioned. You can't quite remember in what context or by whom, but you have definitely heard that name before.
Was it written on the music that the insane dwarf played? It sounds familiar.
It could be.
Well, I'm asking them.
I was doing that character then, I shouldn't.
I remember the music, but I didn't look at the sheet music. Just the noise of it.
Let's get the Putain de Merde out of here.
Indeed.
Guillaume, is there anything we could do to repay your kindness?
Oh, just stop that man, that creature it is just, it is not just that it is dark magic, but the things he brings down here.
He brings down other monsters?
We just want to be left alone. We just want to eat and live our lives. And to get on with what we get on with. You know, Marcel over there, he's very good at raffia. But always we're hiding, running.
The eaters of the dead.
Well, it is a sorry lot, monsieur, but it is ours, and all we have.
Well, at least for myself, if I ever am in the catacombs and I run across you or your kind, I will let you be. I will not try and...
Well, one thing that this makes me realize, hey, at least somebody is eating well in Paris, right? Hey?
When I die, you can have what remains of my body as a
As you say that about them eating well, actually, a couple of them do actually chuckle.
I need to roll sanity at that. Okay, I make it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, someone appreciates my humor. So, I suppose we should make our way topside and see what we can find out about these murder machines, these magical murder machines that Rigo has set up, and then also try to find his book and try not to be killed by whatever allies he may have in the wheels of terror of our good friend Robespierre.
We could. So I assume as we're going, I'm like, we could do something to make it look like Citizen Rigo needs to have his head chopped off. We could accuse him.
But what? I mean, what? Do we put a German prince's letter in his study and then point to it? I can't.
These
write
days,
German.
all we have to do is point our fingers and accuse. He was once a nobleman. He is no longer.
Oh.
There is still a great deal of hatred for his kind.
Just get hysteria moving towards him.
Beaumont has done well for himself in the revolution. Perhaps he has good friends. Someone who can help us. We get topside. We'll contact them.
We can try. I don't know where Beaumont is. Probably kissing babies. I don't know what that means.
As long as he's not eating them, I don't have a problem with it. And apparently, even then, I have bigger concerns than delicious baby meat, apparently.
There's one or two ears perk up at the sound of the phrase delicious baby meat.
I want my baby back, baby back, baby. Baby back.
Has somebody got some baby?
All right, I can't wait to get out of this ghoulish environment. It's the one word that we keep skirting around.
Don't use that word, monsieur. Don't use the P word in our company.
All right. So we find our way out, however he thinks out.
Oh, he sends you off down another tunnel, and you emerge. About 15 minutes later, you emerge about 70 yards away from your usual position. In a small copse. You can even see the entrance to the catacombs that you're supposed to be guarding. You're kind of quite impressed that Guillaume knew exactly where to put you back on the surface. You get the feeling that he probably knows those catacombs at the back of his hand.
Hmm.
It is very nearly dawn.
Is the militiaman still there by the gate?
No, the militiamen are long gone by the looks of it.
Is there a flopping corpse
They
there?
haven't stuck around at all. There are corpses about.
Shall we go collect them?
No, hang on, no, they're on. You burned the corpses, didn't you?
Oh,
We left
except
the
for the
one alive.
one. Yeah, we nailed its bones together to stop it from moving around.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
And we left the one guy to guard it, and then we were supposed to be waiting for reinforcements.
Okay. Yeah. Well, the corpses are the guys, and
Is the corpse still moving?
oh yes.
Okay.
It's still doing the.
Have the locals all taken away the dead bodies because it was like barbecue, and now they're eating dead?
Well, no, the bodies are. There is a smoking pile of meat.
I think we should find Rigo's abode and find this black book that Guillaume has told us about.
But where to start?
And what if Rigo is there when we get there?
Rigo is still down in the tunnels, I'm sure.
I presume he is no longer in
Because the gates are still locked, aren't
the
they?
palace.
He could squeeze through there, though. We were just fortunate that the corpses were too stupid to crouch.
Well, he's going to have to cover up because he's a bit extra crispy right now.
Unless he just healed right away.
Oh, that's true.
Of course, his clothes didn't heal right away.
There's, I'm sure, plenty of unused clothing down there that he could get his hands on.
I just had a horrible vision of pale, rotting Rigo running through the streets buck naked.
Okay.
Find out where he lives. We should go there. Even if he is there, we can. You can nail him to the wall like you did the others.
Can we even leave our post yet?
Well, you will be relieved, within the next half hour.
Okay. So,
although, as I mentioned before, it is you are relieved at dawn. You're not relieved at a specific hour.
So a few things.
You're relieved at dawn, and it's basically when they turn up.
One, we tried to find Rigo's home. My son is a doctor. Maybe he knows where another doctor could be found. I could ask him. That's one lead we have. Two, we have this corpse here, and I'm thinking perhaps we take this corpse back as proof. We try to find Beaumont and his friends and make trouble for Rigo through the revolutionary committees. That seems to be the two things to focus on. Anyone else think perhaps I am making an unwise decision in this, or?
No, but we need to stop the heads from rolling so that he doesn't equal 10,000.
Well, taking this living, stitched together, freakish monster back will at least perhaps engage in discussion with the revolutionary committees, and we follow that angle into the guillotines. So perhaps do we split up? Two of us go try to find his home. Two of us try to stop the guillotines.
I think we should stay together, but
which is more important? That is the question.
Papa, give me an intelligence roll.
85 out of 60. I did not make that.
Crinkle cut chips were invented by the Chinese as a plot to stabilize Western democracy.
Indeed.
Yes,
But I missed them. They're so delicious.
So they're not really French fries.
No.
All right.
They're actually called Shuaonye, which means secret weapon.
I hope so. We're going to start to get some emails from Chinese watchers.
Weapon to destroy the West. I'm sure that anyone who speaks Chinese will be quick to point out that that was gibberish.
Okay, good. Let's. Well, you are the one in command. I will go try and stop the guillotines, though I don't know how.
When we take the corpse, I think that may be the best way to go about it. I mean, in the meantime, I could try to. I go find my son, ask him, see if he maybe perhaps knows where to find a doctor like Rigo. Unless anyone else has any better suggestions for a lead to try to find him.
I think it shouldn't be hard to find out where he lives. He is a famous man.
I think the lines around honesty and honor get very blurred when you get very close to that guillotine. I'm not certain I want anything to do with that. I'd almost like to handle this without getting near that.
So try to go for the book first.
I think so.
I just have a horrible feeling in my gut that if I go near that and I start placing blame, that blame will be shifted right back upon me. And who am I? But potentially someone else to lay under that blade.
We have the body, which is evidence of the witchcraft. If we could stop Rigo, we automatically stop the guillotine because he needs to perform that ritual. So if there's no ritual performed, it can't happen. There could be 10,000 times 2 killed, but without the ritual, nothing will happen.
Hopefully.
Well,
right.
at least it's a start.
Then what do you say, Bubble?
Well, the two of them want to go after the book first. We've got to do both of them. So we may as well try to see if we get our hands on that book. And
I don't know how to formulate to get them to stop to using the guillotines.
That is a problem. It's quite...
perhaps we will think of something while we are getting the book.
Yeah, the book is the more achievable goal, perhaps. I don't think we are the men to stand in the way of Robespierre's little reorganization of society.
Let us see. Who would know?
Perhaps if we can find the book with the symbol in it and then point to the fact that it's on the guillotines might be a clearer message.
There we go.
Witchcraft.
So I guess we should just hide the body in our barracks for now. Keep it around for a spare.
Why don't you just leave it here and let the next watch find it? Tell them when they get here. This proves that they don't let Monsieur Rigo out of the catacombs if he tries to get out. That he is a witch. We start telling them here and we show them the body and they will guard it and they will guard him and keep him from his home and we shall get his witch book.
That seems as good a plan as any. So we tried to begin.
As you're discussing that, you do hear the familiar clip-clopping of horses coming up the lane.
So as soon as they come.
It's the usual 5 horses containing your relief crew. It's the same relief crew you get every day. You know them by sight.
Okay.
One of them, their sergeant, Haluz Baman, and
Sergeant Haluz.
There's only 4 of you tonight.
There has been a terrible thing that we have witnessed. Now, it will sound insane, but we have proof. We shall show you. And I say,
Come.
There is a necromancer, a witch, a demon summoner who is down within the catacombs, and he has summoned up some of the dead. Look there. And I show him that, and I show him the dead bodies and the smoldering ashes. And I point to the gate and show him how we've locked it. I say, we must go, and I say, we must go and summon the authorities. Do not let anyone out of that tomb
Or
Well,
in.
the sergeant walks up and has a look at the body, sort of turns around and shrugs, and then looks back again and just uses his sword and sort of lifts up the hood and rather loudly makes the French equivalent of bloody hell. What would that be? Oh, sacre mère!
And I say, the necromancer is stitching together the bodies and the heads of the recently dead. I said, and I lean over towards him and I say, if you are attacked by them, a sword or a bullet through the forehead will kill the thing. We have left that to prove that we are not lying.
Unless it is Rigo, the man responsible. And then no weapon that you possess will scratch him.
Just keep him locked up in there. Don't let
How are
him...
we to keep the man locked up if we cannot harm him? I mean,
Well, in order to get out, he'll have to get down on his hands and knees and climb out. Don't let him do that. Kick him in the face.
He cannot be harmed, but he is no stronger than a normal man.
Yes. Keep that cart pushed up against there. Keep him trapped. Now, of course, he could get out other places, but what can you do? We are going to bring him to justice if we can.
the other soldiers are looking a bit nervous at each other, but it's it's their job. They have to do this. So they just get on with it.
Right.
Now, for your part, you have obviously, as you have every night, you have the horses. The deal is, they ride the horses from the barracks to relieve you. You jump back on the horses. You take the horses back to the barracks. The horses go in the stables. You go to bed.
Well, except that we're not going to go to bed. We're going to... Our first order of business is to find out where Rigo lives. Is there any kind of record where people live?
Well, in the case of practitioners of medicine, yes. It turns out there most definitely is a record of where people live. And given that... given that my microphone is falling... That's it. Given that you're the detail that does the night shift at the catacombs, and you need the details of the doctor who is also on the night shift at the catacombs, it doesn't seem even remotely odd that you should be asking for that.
So it's
In
rather...
fact, I mean, it's really just a case of saying to a few people, do you know how we get how do we find out where the doctor lives?
Citizen Rigo. Yeah.
Now, finding out how to do it is an easy matter. However, this is revolutionary Paris. So finding out how to do it and actually doing it are two very different things. So realistically, it takes you somewhere in the region of 3 hours to visit all the relevant people, get the stamps you need from the relevant officers, take those to another office. I mean, you're the right people. You are the detail for the catacombs. He is someone with whom you have to liaise, but still, it takes a good portion of the morning.
Okay.
And given that you haven't slept by this time, you're feeling a bit drained because it's just boring. You're just sitting in corridors and standing in lines and waiting to see people, and then you talk to them for 2 minutes, and they stamp a form, and then you go somewhere else for an hour.
Yep.
Is it possible that while a couple of us are doing that, that a couple of us are setting up the accusations so that we can talk to our superiors and say, like, hell, this is what happened to us last night. We've got all this proof, and we have to stop this insane man from his evil witchcraft.
It's entirely possible, but you're gonna have to roleplay.
All right.
And at one point, when we're waiting for an hour at some place for a stamp, I wanted to take one of the remaining lanterns that we took, go out to the street and try and trade for a little bit of food and some wine for us so we could put something in our belly. We haven't eaten in almost 12, 15 hours.
Okay.
Sergeant, while we are doing this, you want to go speak to your superiors?
Sure. I don't know how well it's going to go without the proof of that corpse. I may need to go back to the catacombs and collect it.
Amazing that they give you all these. They haven't actually given Ugel a skill pertinent to sort of foraging, which is weird, isn't it?
Yeah, I was wondering about that also. They gave me cooking, but I'm the provisioner. I thought there should be some sort of trading or something.
Huh?
Charm?
Maybe cooking has something to do with collecting the things to cook.
Yeah. Just looking around.
I'm gonna say persuade, because I think if you're attempting to barter with anyone
All right.
in this climate, it is about persuading, because nothing is inherently valuable really, other than like sort of precious metals and things.
4.
Okay. Well, it's quite a well-made bullseye lamp, and it is full of oil. And the brass looks quite new, and the first couple of people you meet aren't too interested in it, but you manage to trade it to someone for a couple of loaves of bread and a couple of bottles of dubious-looking wine.
All right. At least we have something to eat.
Yeah, I mean it's no feast, but it'll keep you alive for the night.
And I come back to the guys. This is the best I could do, but I start portioning out the wine and the bread while we wait.
I'm very tempted then to do a scene where you get out the food, and within seconds of this mob of about 30 street urchins just comes out like a Warner Brothers, like a Hanna-Barbera cartoon, and just goes and goes, and you've got no bread left. Monsieur, and they're off.
At which point I would say, children, you should go play in the catacomb. There are some people down there that would really enjoy playing with you.
They'd like to invite you to dinner.
So
This food is good and all, but I am very sore from where Rigo hit me. Can anybody take a look at this?
Actually, I can take a quick look. Unless anybody else is better.
No, I've just got base. Field medic.
40.
Battle line.
50.
Yes, I think you're our best medic.
7.
Okay, so Pressy, you'll get a point back, and you're stabilized.
Okay.
Has anyone else got any outstanding injuries?
Yeah, I've got 2. I'm getting punched and getting my head cut open by a stray rock.
You really need to visit a doctor, ironically, which you're kind of going to be doing, but not in a way that would be helpful to you. Yes, you would need to see a doctor or apothecary. I mean, we could just say, I think, that while you were taking the horses back, you could have got yourself rudimentarily patched up, or while they were running the first couple of errands or something. So I'll let you have 1 hit point back. and stabilize on that. Primarily just because I don't want you bleeding to death while just walking around some administrative offices. It's not a good death.
So yeah, with that then, I'm gonna take a horse, ride back to the catacombs, collect up the dead, or the living dead, the one I nailed, his arms down and everything, and we tied off his legs. Throw him over the horse, and then I'm gonna take him in to go report to my superior, and try to start the ball rolling on some accusation of dark arts. I'm specifically going to stay away from like the satanic witchcraft angle, just because of the times, and just go with dark sciences.
Well, I'm trying to figure out who the I suppose it would be the Garde de Paris.
Yeah, because Malone is gone, so I don't know where we go next. But he's been gone for a while, so presumably I got somebody else to go to.
Yeah, I mean you would have a superior officer that you report to. As with the men who relieved you earlier, he's largely skeptical until he actually sees the thing, and then you're just stopped midstream, and he stops you as you're telling your story, and he goes off, and he returns with 2 other men and gets you to recap and tell him your complete story.
Yeah. So it took my entire squad to restrain this thing, and this was one of many. The others we unfortunately could not restrain. We had to burn them. They are piled up outside of the catacombs. And once we restrained him, we made our way down, and we found Rigo engaging in some kind of dark and terrible alchemy of some kind. And with it, he was too much for us. We were forced to retreat, and but with it, as you can see, he is committing terrible, terrible atrocities. This head and this body, they are not even the same. You can see the skin they are different tones, and this is one of many. My men now are looking to see if they can find more of what he has done, but I'm concerned for who knows how long he has been doing this, and he is a great threat to Paris and to France.
This is a truly depraved and obscene spectacle, comrade, citizen. Comrade citizen. I will pass this to the relevant the relevant committee at the very earliest opportunity.
Indeed.
They in turn will pass it on to the city council, who will pass it on to the national executive, who will earmark it for consideration to the relevant branch of the legislature.
I kind of lean forward conspiratorially and say, like, and I don't know if you know this, but Rigo, he was doctor to the king himself.
Oh, we know who he is.
Exactly. Exactement. I think perhaps his royalist leanings and depravities were not quite as washed clean as people may have thought.
Well, perhaps, I mean, if you have, were you to have evidence of overtly monarchist behavior on citizen Rigaud's behalf, then that would be rather damning. But This is such an unusual case. It sets a precedent within itself. We must discuss how to proceed further with this. This must be handled quietly.
And shall I hold on to this creature until such time as it is needed?
We will put this somewhere secure. This thing needs to be locked away for the public good. We will perhaps. I am loath to even ask anyone to examine such a horror. An horror. Indeed.
Well, I can tell you, it is not a smart creature. This beast. It is a. Barely more than a savage beast of burden, but I do have an additional concern. An additional concern, which is these bodies. Something with their preparation has to do with the guillotines themselves, or at least that is the supposition that we have. We've come to believe he has marked these guillotines that we use for the public good. Those very same guillotines are marked with iconography that he uses in whatever his dark arts are.
We should one thing at a time, citizen, please. First, we need to find this man and deal with him, and then we can deal with his handiwork and his superstitious nonsense afterwards.
Oui. Well, I do know one of the bodies that he resurrected was definitely a nobleman.
Do you know who the nobleman was?
Oh, I cannot remember his name. Can I make it an intelligence check to remember the name of Presley's father-in-law?
You can.
42 out of 60.
I probably would have complained about him a good deal.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're trying now. I am now.
Well, I'm just going to rattle off the name, and then I'm going to say perhaps.
I'm now representing the character of you trying to find it. Yes, you tell him that name,
and then I'm going to say, and I suspect if you were to look up whoever this head is, I suspect this head belongs to a nobleman as well. I think resurrecting nobles, even in such an imperfect state, is also a sign of treason in and of itself. But
his name, by the way, was the Comte de Benoit.
Oh, Comte de Benoit, there.
The father of Melody Benoit.
He died a second death at our hands. And I will leave this to you and your capable staff, Mon Capitan. I have much work to do. I will report in if I find anything additional.
Yes. We will. We will advise you on this matter in due course.
Bon. Farewell, Mon Capitan.
They march imperiously out of the room. Now back to the other three of you. You've been at this for about 4.5 hours now. The bread and the wine have helped a little.
There is so much bureaucracy, you would think this was England.
But eventually, a little man in Pince-Nez, comes trotting out from one of the offices, and he says to you, "Monsieur, could you sign here, please? This is your receipt. And then if you sign here, this is my receipt for your receipt. And finally, This is your receipt for my receipt for your receipt. And that one is yours. And he gives you one of the pieces of paper. And returns into his office. And about a minute or so later, he comes back with a single folded sheet of paper and hands it to you.
Thank you. Now we should probably go to the Bank of Paris and put the receipt into a safety deposit box so that we don't ever lose the receipt. But the receipt of the receipt you can throw in the garbage.
I don't know, you might get audited. So you were given a piece of paper, and the piece of paper simply says Citizen Rigo, Rue Neuve Saint-Augustin.
It's going to take us forever to get there this time of the morning.
Probably will. I can't be bothered to find the map, because that would mean I'd have to have a third screen open. Oh no, hang on, I've got it over there. Sorry, I've got a JPEG file. Do you have the maps, or would you like to see the map?
Oh, you can just tell us.
All right. Well, I mean, you haven't even gone there yet, so it's pointless even bring out the map. But yeah, it's yes, it's just a long way away.
I want to get his book, destroy his book.
It's quite near the government buildings, so given that you had to go to the government buildings in order to get the information to find out where it is, you are relatively close to the club.
Great. We just turn around and it's across the street.
So what next, chaps?
We're going to head to Rigo's, yeah?
Okay.
Surely by now Babon has caught up with us.
Oh yes, I would imagine.
Yeah.
So, yes. I mean, he's had plenty of time to catch up with you by this point. So you are all together by this point.
Is anyone else exhausted?
We. But the fate of Paris is in our hands. Again.
Our undead friend, he is making his way into the bureaucratic process. So perhaps around this time
next year,
next century, we will be ready for some proper treason charges against the good doctor.
I think we should just break his magic and kill him.
I think so. That is what we will have to do. But at least now we have some paperwork in place about why we are harassing and killing a doctor.
We have a receipt.
Did you get the receipt for where they're locking him up so we can retrieve him?
We don't know anything about that yet, whether he's being locked up.
You've heard a rumor. What, Fenelic?
No.
We know where Fenelic is.
Oh, right. I was going to say,
I was making a joke. I asked him if he got a receipt for dropping off the body.
I just the receipt for my mission report, which is includes that and everything else. Everything short of if you don't mind, I left out our little friends that helped us in the escape. I did not include any mention of them.
Good.
They have no bearing in this matter.
Well, I'm thinking we might as well call it there.
Okay.
Or unless you wanted to do anything like were you planning on surveilling the house?
Well, we'll probably do all of that. That is a good spot.
Yeah, we can start on that next time. But
that sort of starts the next thing that we're going to do.
I'll even be generous and say that you would probably have managed to grab a couple of hours sleep while you were involved in all of this waiting around. So I'm not going to have you just sort of like dropping exhaustion in the street or something.
Do Christophe and Babon get one more hit point back then?
Not just yet, no, because you haven't really had a full night's sleep.
Okay.
While they have had treatment, it's stabilized, but you've not had much to eat, and it's been very poor quality food, and only a couple of hours sleep, so you're still very much on the downside of things.
All right. Our players included Fred Carter, Luke Strom, Jack, Jason Melnichuk, and myself, with Nick Swan as the keeper of the secrets. We're currently producing up to 4 shows a week with music and sound effects added in post-production in order to create a richer listener experience. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Podbean or iTunes. If you'd like to become a patron, visit our Patreon account. Just $1 or $2 a month helps us a lot. You can find a link in the description below. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch that bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answering any questions you might have. This is Tom Rayleigh, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck and good gaming.
Amor.